time for your ABC 36 Storm Team forecast.
Well, the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms with us as we head through the evening, overnight, and into the day on Wednesday. So breaking things down for you, level 2 and 3 risk, damaging winds, large hail, and a few tornadoes possible even during the overnight hours. And for Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night, this is really the area of concern and has been, as we talked about over the last couple of days, with all modes of severe weather on the table. You definitely want to have a way to be alerted throughout this entire period over the next day or so. We had that big area of rain and storms early to mid-afternoon move through. Now we've had a few showers, even a storm or two trying to redevelop some of the leftover boundaries. The rain-cooled air from that earlier activity kind of acting as a mini front and wedging up against a lot of warm, moist air that we have out there. North side of Flemingsburg, east of Carlisle, got some heavier rain there. One cell here right over Richmond, and then just northeast of Berea, south of Waco into the eastern part of Madison County. And then the cell that we have across southeastern Kentucky. This is the one we've been keeping an eye on as it actually makes a beeline just north of Hazard here. Our SCIT data, which is our storm cell identification and tracker. Here are some of the areas impacted by this. Here is the info as far as hail, about a 30% chance of some severe hail up to 3/4 size. The BTI, that's our Barron Tornado Index, scale of 1 to 10, 1 being lowest, 10 being highest. It's about 2.4, so it's low. This is really a hailer more than anything. So Bonnyman there, north of Hazard, 604. Perry Central at 608. And I think the majority of this may stay just to the north of Hazard here over the next little while. But it's again, it's got that kind of classic appendage to it here, just right back here. So what I want to do quickly here is take a look and see what we've got relative to the hail potential, because I mentioned some of that pink, and you see there is our historic hail track. So this thing is probably producing some small hail as it moves eastward here out across parts of southeastern Kentucky. So just kind of keep that in mind there. If you're in Hazard, you're going to see some heavier rain, a lot of lightning, and the potential for some larger hail. There's the activity that moved through. We've got just a few little lone cells off to the northwest. That's the prime area right now. Tornado watches through parts of Indiana, northwest Ohio, and Illinois, although they're trimming it down as that line moves eastward. And that is the most favored area for the organized severe weather. Now, the I-64 corridor here in Lexington northward in that level 3, a few tornadoes definitely on the table. That potential is there, but damaging winds, scattered large hail being the primary threat. But that's why we're in the level 3, because this hatched area has a little more of an elevated tornado threat along I-70 between Indy and Columbus. So check out our futurecast here. Still a few cells trying to go up mid to late evening. It's interesting. It tries to kind of lull things out. And then we get a broken squall line moving through during the overnight hours. What's different about this event is typically once we lose the heating of the day, the severe threat really diminishes during the overnight, but the dynamics and the parameters are such, and this only happens once, twice a year, it's enough to overcome the lack of any daytime heating. So these storms can sustain their strength during the overnight. So medium range, most everything except for the flash flood threat, but that may change and probably will tomorrow with several rounds coming through. So Wednesday night, level 3. Notice how the tornado threat is beginning to trend a little farther west and south. We're not out of the woods by any stretch, but something we'll keep an eye on. And the other thing I want to emphasize tomorrow, we have hail events every once in a while, but the hail threat is elevated tomorrow, so do keep that in mind as well, because that in and of itself can be very problematic here. So your futurecast starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow. If this verifies here with sunshine, warm temperatures, and high dew points, that would set the stage for some individual supercell thunderstorms to develop into the afternoon. Any of those would have the potential damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes. And actually this run, these little isolated cells ahead of a main squall line developing, those can be, again, particularly problematic. And then we see the typical squall line with damaging winds and a spin-up tornado within it as we head into early Thursday morning. And then even though we've got a few showers, maybe a rumble of thunder left over, we finally begin to quiet things down. So notice how everything's up a bit tomorrow and tomorrow night compared to today. As mentioned, you'll want to have a way to get your warnings. Keep it right here on ABC 36 live stream. Wireless alerts, and of course, NOAA weather radio. Know the difference between a watch and a warning. Watch, of course, that's a general area. Warning is a specific, and you need to definitely take action when you get this. Now, keep in mind, this is not a complete slam dunk. There are some of the model data is indicating we may see a bit of warmer air in the mid-levels, a bit of a cap. That could help to suppress things. So even though, again, everything coming together with the ingredients, you want to be prepared, but not to say it's 100% going to happen, but everything is indicating and leaning that way. It's 79 in Mount Sterling, and it is 81 here in Lexington, Frankfort, 82 in Lebanon. And look at our dew points. Great measure of the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. Anything mid to upper 60s, you're looking at a summer-like air mass. So all you need is a little lift. That's where you've got the front coming into our west. And then we see the storms beginning to fire up potentially. Now, tomorrow, I mentioned the flash flood threat being a little more concerning. Notice the amount of rain widespread that this thing may kick out. And again, as this main surface cold front rolls through late tomorrow and into tomorrow night, that's when we'll see the severe threat. It winds down early Thursday, and then we shift to Friday, where we're only looking at highs in the mid-60s. Meanwhile, our lows tonight will be in the mid-60s. Scattered storms. Some could be severe, warm and humid with that severe storm threat tomorrow. Yes, mid-80s and muggy. So that sets the stage and would be fuel for the fire for these thunderstorms, severe storms. Notice the upcoming weekend, again, unseasonably cooler, but hopefully a dry Mother's Day with highs right around 7.